YouTube, Kevon Moore here, back with another video. And as you can see from the title, I'm going to explain in detail how to pass the, whatever state you're in, the CDL driver's permit test at the DMV. Because to this day, that is my most watched video with over 20,000 views. That has the most comments. I get the most comments in the comment section. I get the most questions. I get the most DMs about how I specifically passed the CDL permit test to obtain my Class A driver's license, correct? Okay, cool. First thing I want you guys to understand is number one, breathe, okay? I want you to breathe. Why? Because it's fucking common sense. Not everything. A lot of questions can trick you. But what I want you guys to understand is that breathing understanding that breathing can decrease your level of anxiety. Why the fuck are you nervous to take this test? Why? The worst thing that can possibly happen, literally the worst case scenario, is that you quote unquote fail and you have to retake the test. You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to get locked up. The police aren't coming for you. You're not going to die. You're not going to get a virus. You're not going to catch a disease. Like, the worst thing that can possibly happen to you is you are going to have to retake the test. It is completely mental. So the first thing I want you guys to do is fucking breathe. Number two, next what I want you guys to do is to take it step by step, okay? There's three parts that you have to take and pass in order to obtain your Class A CDL. Number one, general knowledge. Number two, air brakes. And number three, combinations. Once you pass those, you are now qualified, or you have now taken the very first step regarding obtaining your CDL Class A license. So now with those three tests passed, you can take your, with those three tests passed, you have your CDL Class A permit, right? So what I want you guys to do next is to literally break it down into sections, okay? What I mean is this. If there's three parts, general knowledge, air brakes, and combinations, before you move on to the air brakes and the combinations, study general knowledge. If you want to read the entire book, if you want to take the practice test online, if you want to download the app, okay? So, with reading the book, with taking the practice test online, and by studying over and over and over again the actual test questions that you can download on any free CDL prep app, because that's another thing. People will ask me, which app is it? Which app is it? Which app did I use specifically? And it's like, guys, it doesn't matter what fucking app you use, okay? Understand that most likely the questions are going to be the exact same. The more questions you commit to memory on the general knowledge, the higher your percentage of passing on the very first time. If you want to pass it on the first time, I didn't. It took me like 4 or 5 times. I don't give a fuck. Understand? So breathe. Number one. Number two, read the book if you want to. Highlight certain parts. You're definitely going to need to know certain PSI. You're definitely supposed to know the tread depth of your vehicle. These are minor things that I'm memorizing, or that I'm just, picking apart from the entire book. I haven't taken that test in over a year, maybe a year and a half, going on 2 years, somewhere around there. But there's certain things that, that just stick out. You must know the tread depth. You must know your PSI. You must know all these things. Okay? So first things, breathe. Number two, if you read the entire book, along with taking the practice questions every single day, even if it is for like half an hour, right? And then you actually have the app. The questions that you got wrong, what you'll realize is this. Depending on the app, they'll give you the actual answer, and it'll give you a detailed explanation as to why the answer you chose is wrong and why the answer is this. It will go into further detail. So now you have the book, you have the question, and you have an explanation on why you got it wrong. Make sense? Take your time to absorb the information. Then once you knock out general knowledge, because you've committed so many questions to memory and you're absorbing and obtaining the information, and you're actually starting to learn it, it's going to start to make sense. Then you move on to the air brakes. You understand? And then you do what? You repeat the process. Air brakes is going to run you about 20 to 25 questions. That's it. So the more questions you commit to memory, the higher your percentage of passing it on the first time. And then you repeat the process for the combinations. Make sense? Literally. That's all you do. But what I want you guys to do is to, number one, understand that the anxiety that you're feeling, the nervousness, it comes from your mentality and how you think. It comes from you being conditioned. Me too as well, from taking tests in school and thinking that the fucking test is just like the end all be all. No. The worst case scenario that can happen is that you have to take the test again, which might suck because you have to pay for it, but it's all right. I took the test, general knowledge, I took about maybe 4 times. Air brakes and combinations, I think I passed air brakes on the first try, and then combinations I took twice, or vice versa. So number one, I want you to fucking breathe. Number two, get your mind under control, okay? Understand that if you go in there with a positive energy and a positive attitude, and you have committed yourself, you literally took the time out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks to study it into sections, you're going to pass because you've seen the material, you've read it so many damn times, and you've also took a lot of practice questions. Don't just jump into it blindly like I did. Take your time with it, man. Take your time with it. Study it by sections. Knock out the general knowledge first. Then go on to air brakes. Then go on to combinations. Everybody has their own style of doing things. And that's how I did it. But me personally, I left the general knowledge for last because I felt better knowing that, okay, if there's 3 tests, if I can pass the first 2 that have a shorter amount of questions, that gives me more incentive. That gives me more fuel. That gives me more motivation to knock out the general knowledge. Why? Because that is the last fucking obstacle. That has the most questions. In the state of New York, you have 50 questions. And you have to get at least an 80%, so you have to get at least 40 right. So it's not that difficult, yet it's not that easy. But if you prepare yourself mentally, if you prepare yourself spiritually, if you go in with the right mindset, the right attitude, and you go in with the right preparation, and you're chopping it up, there's no way you're going to fail. And if you fail, all you have to do is take it again. That is the worst case scenario. You understand? Just take it extremely serious, man or woman. Take it extremely serious. Understand that what you're about to do is change your life. Maybe if you choose to, stick in it, but understand that this is a craft. This is a trade that should be taken very, very seriously. I didn't take it seriously on my first go round. Now that I want to get back into it, I'm going to take it a lot more serious. I'm going to pay a lot more attention to detail. I'm going to be a lot more careful as a driver, be a lot more attentive. Make sense? So, breathe, get your thoughts under control, prepare yourself, break it up into sections, and also, guys, give yourself time. Give yourself 3 weeks, give yourself a month in advance, and then every day just chop it up. I'm going to study for an hour and a half, 30 minutes in the day, 30 minutes in the afternoon, and 30 minutes at night, or even just say an hour. Half an hour in the day and half an hour in the evening. That way, it's the first thing you do when you wake up, and it's the last thing you do before you go to sleep. I guarantee you will retain the information because repetition is the father of learning. Point blank period, okay? So with that being said, I'll end the video here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will also be making another video in regards to something else in regards to trucking. But just take your time, guys. Take your time. Understand what you're reading. Grab a highlighter. Sit in a quiet space. Don't overthink. Try to get your thoughts under control. Be positive. Feel good. Know that you're about to fucking pass this test in about a month. Make sense? Understand that and just be like, okay, yeah. It's just a test, because that's all it is. It's just a test, guys. You're not gonna go to jail. There's no consequence dire other than you might have to pay some more cash to retake the test. And I'll see you when you get your CDL, alright? So with that being said, like I said, I'll end the video here. And don't forget, keep on trucking. One love. Bless.